Now what we have is, we have been given a cell, okay, a cell which is not an ideal cell. Okay, so since it is not an ideal case, we'll be having EMF in series with the internal resistance. Okay, so this is our cell. This whole thing is the cell, and this is connected in series to an external resistance. Whose value is R. Okay. Now what we require is, we need to find the maximum power that can be delivered to this load R. Okay, this load can be anything. Okay, it can be our electrical heater, electrical iron, okay, or any lamp, bulb, anything. Okay, so we need to determine what is the maximum power that can be delivered to this R. Okay, so generally what we know, what we need is to determine the relationship between the internal resistance R and the value of the resistance capital R. Okay, so in order to get the relationship between the internal resistance and the external resistance, we'll first solve for the power that is actually flowing on the through this resistance R. So let us assume that I amount of current is flowing across the circuit. Okay. Now if we use Ohm's law, we can say that the current that is flowing across the circuit is same as the potential difference divided by the total resistance of the circuit. So the total resistance of the circuit is R plus R, since these two resistance are connected in series. Okay. So if we'll substitute in the relationship for the power which we saw just earlier, and it is equal to I square times R. Okay, this will give us the power across the resistance R, that is across this resistance. Okay, so the power which we will be getting is E divided by R plus R, the whole square, times R. Okay, so this is the expression for the power that is delivered to the load resistance R. Now our aim is to maximize this power. Okay, maximize the power that is reaching the load resistance R. Now in order to maximize the power, okay, analytically we will differentiate this with respect to R, okay, and equate it to 0, so that we can achieve some value of capital R. Okay, that will maximize the power that is delivered to it. Okay, so if we'll differentiate this expression with respect to capital R, we'll be getting dP by dR is equal to derivative difference. Since E is constant in this case, can take it out. Okay, so this would be R plus R minus 2 times R plus R to R divided by, okay, that is differentiating this this expression with respect to capital R. Now, and equating this to 0, okay, we'll get a relationship between capital R and small r. Okay, now since EMF of the cell can never be negative in our case, so what we are doing is we are equating this term to 0. Okay, so after equating this term to 0, we'll be getting R plus R minus 2R to R plus R equals to 0. That is, R plus R is equal to 2 times R, or we can say that capital R is equal to small r. Okay. So this is a very important result which says us that in order to obtain the maximum power to the load resistance R, okay, the value of the external resistance R must be equal to the value of the internal resistance. So we can obtain the maximum power when the value of load resistance is equal to the value of the external resistance. And what would be that maximum value? Okay, if we want to find what is the value of that maximum power that is delivered in this case, then we can substitute the value of small r as same as capital R. So in this equation, so if we'll substitute the value of the internal resistance same as the load resistance, we can get the maximum power. Okay, so the maximum power that is delivered is E upon, since we have substituted small r as capital R, it would be 2R times capital R. So this will give us the answer as E square by 4R. Okay, so this is the value of the maximum power that is delivered to a resistance R. Okay, and this condition is obtained when the value of this external resistance R is equal to the value of the internal resistance of the cell, that is small r. Now we have seen Ohm's law, and we know from Ohm's law that Ohm's law can be used to determine the value of the voltages and currents for a circuit that consists of a resistance R, and the current that is flowing through that resistance R is I. Okay, so that the voltage across that resistance is given by V equals to IR. But the problem with the Ohm's law is that this Ohm's law is can be used to solve a circuit that is very simple, but as the circuit, the complexity of the circuit goes on increasing, the use of Ohm's law, okay, would be impractical. Okay, it would be analytically very tough to solve the circuit by using Ohm's law. So there are some other alternatives to solve the circuits for the unknown voltages or the unknown currents across the branches, and we'll discuss those laws. Generally we'll start with Kirchhoff's laws. That is actually an extension to Ohm's law itself. Okay, but before going to Kirchhoff's law, I'll just give you a preview of some concepts in electrical network. I'll start with what are the junctions, what are called as junctions and loops. Okay, so let us see what is mean by junction and loop for an electrical network. Okay. Now suppose that I consider a circuit, okay, consider an arbitrary circuit, okay, containing resistors, suppose R1, R2, R3, and then EMF, suppose it is equal to E. Okay, but I name these name the nodes as A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. Now we'll start with what is junction. Now a junction in an electrical network, okay, it is any point on the electrical network where two or more conductors or two or more branches of the electrical circuit meet. Okay. Now what I mean is, now if we look in this structure, okay, we can see that there are 2 points in this structure, in this circuit, B and point E, wherein more than 2 conductors meet. Okay, that is 2 or more conductors meet at the junction B and at the junction E. So in this electrical network we have 2 junctions, B and E. Okay, so suppose that we assume that some current is flowing through this I1, here it is I2, and here it is I3. Okay, so we can say that in this junction, at this junction B, we have an incoming current I1 and 2 outgoing currents I2 and I3. Okay, similarly here we can say that the same current, so it would be in series, so it is I3, here it would be, okay, here the current that is coming is I2, and from here it is I1. Okay, so at this junction E, wherein 2 or more conductors meet, the incoming currents are I3 and I2, whereas the outgoing current is I1. Okay, so junction for an electrical network is any point on the electrical network wherein more than 2 branches of the conductors meet. Okay, now how we can define loop? Loop for an electrical network is actually, okay, it's a closed conducting path for an electrical circuit. Okay, that is a path which is closed. Okay, now in this case, in our example that I have mentioned, we can see that there are 3 loops. Okay, if we look carefully, we can say that this loop A, B, E, F, A is a closed conducting path. Okay, so one of the loop is A, B, E, F, A. Okay, this is one of the loop. The other loop is B, C, D, E, B. Okay, so B, C, D, E, B. That is the other loop. Okay, and the third loop is the outer loop. Okay, so the outer loop is the third loop, A, B, C, D, E, F, A. Okay, so these are the 3 loops which are present in this example, in this arbitrary example which we have taken. Okay, these are the 3 loops. Okay, and as we will observe that the loop starts and ends at the same point. Okay, that means it must be closed. Okay, so after seeing what is junction and loop, we can start off with the Kirchhoff's laws. Okay, we'll start with the first law of Kirchhoff, that is known as Kirchhoff's current law, okay, or Kirchhoff's first law.